Mayor Diana Wilhite. I am so pleased to have a chance to chat with you. And first of all, I want to tell you how very much I appreciate how approachable you are. I first had a chance to just sort of meet you and hear you speak at the KQUP premiere night. So we were really pleased to have you participate in that. And now to have a chance to further explore, I really want to know how your journey to become mayor happened.
Well, you know, it's because I became involved in politics, and that came about as a result is that my husband and I were in Washington, D.C., where he was serving in the Navy and stationed at the Department of Defense. And I decided that I wanted to have a job on Capitol Hill. And after figuring out how one goes about getting a position there, I worked for a number of years for a congressman. And you cannot live in Washington, D.C. and not either love it or hate it, because it's 24/7 there. And I was fascinated with the political process because it wasn't the way that I'd read about it in my books. And so because of that, I became politically active. And when we moved to the Spokane, Washington area, one of the ways I became acquainted with the community was becoming involved in the local Republican Party.
Now, I understand too that the Spokane Valley, not being a city for very long, has more of that localized governing feeling about it, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And the best place, I think, to serve is at local level, because there you really interact with the people on a much more regular basis than you do when you're in Washington, D.C.
I can certainly commend you for that, because I've seen you and your interactions now, and how you get out and about, and I see your name at a great many functions, so I do appreciate the effort that you're putting to meet all the people, and you are so approachable. We do enjoy that as well. I wanted to say, now, when you served on the city council,
correct,
which is really a volunteer once again?
Yes, we do get a small stipend for serving on the council, but you put in a lot more hours than what you would normally think. The volumes of reading material is such, especially in the beginning when we became a new city, and never having served on a city council, I found myself having to give up my leisure reading because I had so much to read with regard to learning about what was going on at City Hall and educating myself on the processes and procedures.
So your journey to becoming mayor was through the city council, and
correct,
then you were well versed by that time as to what was going on.
Yes.
Well, I want to also say, how long has Spokane Valley been a city?
We're just going to be celebrating our 5th year of incorporation, and so we're planning to have a number of events to commemorate our 5th birthday.
And we are at Center Place, which is a beautiful facility. We will give the folks a chance to have a look-see at the inside and the outside. How long has it been here?
Well, actually, we were very fortunate because before we became a city, a group of citizens decided that this area needed to be preserved for the people, and convinced the landowner to give it up to, as a park. In addition to that, the legislature was in the process of passing a bill with regard to funding for a new convention center in downtown Spokane. And the people who were involved in putting that together decided that perhaps maybe some of the funds should be used for building a community center out in Spokane Valley. And so $7 million of that bonding issue went for this particular place that we're in today. In addition to that, there was a group of trustees, and they raised approximately another $3 million to fund the building completely and do the furnishings and that type of thing that we had to have. And so it actually transitioned from being almost completed when we became a city. It was the building was turned over to us for completion, and so we did the final architectural layout and then the furnishing of the building.
Well, we'll certainly be showing some of the beautiful aspects of it, and we will continue speaking with you and get more into the revitalization plan and what's coming up and how people can get involved in that effort.
Great.
Mayor Wilhite, I wanted to continue and talk about the Spokane Valley's growth, as well as this Sprague Appleway revitalization plan, which I see has been open to the public for input since its very inception, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. When we became a city, we inherited from the county a new Appleway roadway. And during the course of the county's planning on that, they had changed Sprague to a one-way street and Appleway to a one-way street. And we had a number of the business community come to us and say that they felt that this was not the best layout for the business community. And so the city council decided that we needed to look at how we could help to not only look at the traffic patterns, but how we could help the business quarter along the Sprague Avenue get some new life. And so we held a number of meetings. They first started out with focus groups talking to various elements of the community. I believe they had 8 of those. And then we had community meetings that we held, and we had approximately 100+ people show up at each of those that we had. And out of that, we found that people were thinking that we needed to have a city center. And it was interesting because when you would talk to various people, they would have different aspects of what they felt a city center should be. But they all agreed that we needed some place. They wanted a heart for the city. And so we started looking about how we could do that, what it would take to create a center. And we did some layouts of some particular streetscapes and way we could configure some buildings, and the community really responded to that. And so as a consequence, we decided that we needed to look at having a place and helping to build a city center. And we decided that perhaps one of the things we were going to be needing was a new city hall. The building in which we're currently housed is leased space, and we've already outgrown the space several times over and have had to put our building department in a building across the parking lot because there was no room in the building for them. So we've decided that perhaps we need to build our own building. In addition to that, the county library operates the library system within the city, and they felt that they needed to have a larger facility to house a collection to serve the citizens of Spokane Valley. And so we talked with them about the idea that they would build a new building in the same approximate place where we were going to put a new city hall. And using that as kind of the cornerstones for a city center, we want to look at having a public-private partnership with a developer to help develop the rest of the property. And so that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
Well, and I could tell too that it looks like they're trying to make that wonderful combination of commercial and residential, such that a great many people can work and live so close by they could actually walk to work now.
That's correct.
That's a big thing. I think that's one of the things that as we plan for the future we really need to be a little bit more aware of. And it does appear we're getting back to this sort of community feel.
Right. People want to have something that has a local feel, that has a hometown feel to it. And with a city center where you would have shops where you could drop your child off for the reading hour at the library, you could go over and get your shoes repaired, pick up your dry cleaning, maybe have your dentist appointment while you're waiting for your children.